you are never going to be able to build big, strong legs like the kind that you're more than likely looking for with only body weight exercises. You're taking foundational movements like the barbell squat, the front squat, the conventional deadlift, the stiff leg deadlift, and you're replacing them with exercises that are so light and so easy that if you're a reasonably strong guy, if you took away that big barbell movement, you would have to do hundreds and thousands of reps with these body weight exercises to even get a relevant stimulus. For you, who's more than likely a hobbyist, they might just be getting into training, you're gonna be spinning your wheels trying to replace these big foundational movements with these lighter finishers, and that's what they are. Bodyweight squats, bodyweight lunges, Hindu squats, all those things are really good as accessories, but they can't be the movements that you design your program around. If you want to get big and strong legs. If you don't want to get big and strong legs, go ahead and base your program around those. Nordic curls, before someone comments them, are probably the best body weight exercise, lower body wise, that you could do for hypertrophy and strength. But your hamstring is half of your leg. And to be honest with you, the average person viewing fitness content, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case may be, is not strong enough to do a proper Nordic curl, let alone multiple reps with enough volume to get bigger hamstrings to begin with. So that's the opinion piece for today. Let me know how y'all feel about that. It was extremely hot. This little Pepsi chatty sweater vest thing that I cut, way too hot. Get right into the Q&A though. Starting with, should we do OHP for lateral delt hypertrophy? Well, I've got pretty big delts, pretty big neck, pretty big traps, upper back, all that. I can't say that I've used the overhead press to build a whole lot of that, to be honest with you. What the overhead press does, essentially, is it works like your upper back, particularly like your yoke muscles, and then your front delts and your triceps. But hypertrophy-wise, I can't say that I've done much more than like bench press variations, upright rows, barbell rows for the rear delts. In terms of side delts, it would be upright rows and then like loo raises, but can't say that I've done much overhead press. I don't feel the side delts are worked very well with the overhead press to begin with. So with anything, if you're looking to, and this is just a rule of thumb, if you're looking to target or isolate a muscle, simplest solution is often the most correct one. I think that's Occam's razor. I'm an unga bunga, so someone correct me if I'm wrong on that particular quote, but if you're trying to isolate a muscle, just fucking isolate it, dude. Do some fucking lateral raises, or do loo raises, or do upright rows. You know, don't make it complicated. I think a lot of times people try to min-max, if you're familiar with like RPGs. So like, for example, in Dark Souls 1, there is a build called Giant Dad, where like you min-max your stats, you put on this Zweihander, and you put on like this ugly ass mask, and I think the Giants set, if I remember correctly. What it is that you min-max your stats so that you get the most out of very little. You can't do that with exercises in terms of, you know, if you're trying to get as big and strong as possible. You want to maximize the amount of stuff that you can do reasonably. Next question is, should we do submaximal sets for hypertrophy, or are they good for hypertrophy to begin with? Yes, absolutely. So, and this is just old school wisdom being observed in academia and then getting applied to like modern training. Old school trainees and old school bodybuilders, the greats, would always talk about, you don't increase in weight until you can handle the weight for multiple reps, multiple sets, and you increase the amount of volume that you can do. Then you earn your weight increase. Others would eventually come into play, like Mike Mentzer, Tom Platz, where they're like, you do one hard set and blah, 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 bloodbath. Submaximal sets allow you to get more touches in terms of like, you know, practice doing reps. It allows you to accumulate more muscle damage cumulatively, as opposed to doing one really hard set. You're doing 5 reasonably hard sets. You know what I'm saying? Submaximal doesn't mean fucking easy. It just means you leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank each set. That's difficult. if you ever done 1 or 2 reps in reserve on like squats or deadlifts, for example, that shit is not easy. Oh, well, you're a pussy. You could have did 2 more reps. Catch by hole. There's a time and a place for maximal sets, like demonstrating your performance, testing your performance, even in the capacity of super squats, for example. That's one really hard set, but all that really is multiple sets done before you put the bar back into the rack, or you know, if you do them with hack squats before you rack the weight. That is, you do 10 reps, you rest, and essentially you're creating a new set where you then do 5 more reps, rest, like 10 seconds, and then you do 3 and so on. But that still is like, you know what I'm saying, that's submaximal volume. It's just applied in a way that garners more intensity. Next question. This is just something I notated because when I see this type of question, it instantly gets categorized like this. This versus that as best hypertrophy exercise. Listen up, guys. I think it was, I saw someone on Instagram kind of talk about what I'm going to talk about today. I think it was Death Grip Derek, the violent mustache powerlifter dude on Instagram. Someone will probably link his profile down below. I think his bio says he chooses violence, or he is the smoke, or whatever. He's like a heel in the powerlifting sphere. And for those that don't want to know what a heel is, in wrestling, you have like the baby face, and then you got the heel. The heel is like the chatty anti-hero shit stirrer, in other words. So he said something like, when someone asked him, what's the best quad hypertrophy exercise, this or that? He's like, dude, stop asking me this or that. Do both. You know, so don't ask me what's better for chest hypertrophy, close grip bench or weighted dips. Yes, the answer is yes, do both. What's better for lats, weighted pull-ups or rows? Yes, do both. What's better for posterior chain volume, back extensions or stiff leg deadlifts? Yes, do both. This or that questions, minimizing your program, we talked a little bit about that earlier, trying to min-max, is going to keep you small, is going to keep you weak. The only people that can do all their volume with one exercise are the genetic anomalies, the people that have steel cable for joints and, you know, or fucking shit brick houses when they're 5 years old. You know, the type of person where you look at them and you're like, this dude's gonna be one of the strongest motherfuckers on the planet, and he's not even really gonna have to try. All he's gonna have to do is eat some fucking corned beef hash, some fucking, you know, some poutine, some cheese fries and gravy, and drink whole milk, touch a barbell, and he's gonna become a fucking specimen. That type of person, and you know them when you see them because they have fucking horse necks when they're 12. You're more than likely not that individual. There's probably like 3 people that interact in my comment section that are of that caliber, and I am not one of them. So diversify your program, guys. All jokes aside is what I'm saying. So if you have the goal of getting a bigger chest, main exercise, main accessory, isolation. Very easy. So that could be like bench press, weighted dips, pec flies, and then like tricep extensions or tricep rope pushdowns or something. There you go. And then you choose your sets and reps and intensity based on what you need. Legs, same thing. High bar squats, front squats, leg extensions, hamstring curls. There you go. Deadlifts, same thing. Conventional deadlift, back extensions, hamstring curls, and then maybe like hip adduction and hip abduction. You could do that as well. Just spitballing some rough exercise selections. But the shit ain't hard, bro. You just have to pick things that feed into one another. But you just don't try to fill in everything with, I really like weighted dips, so I'm gonna do weighted dips 4 times a week. I'm gonna do 40 sets of weighted dips. I'm gonna become the strongest weighted dipper in the world. They ain't, more than likely. Not doing it like that anyway. Okay, last question. By the way, let me know if y'all like less questions and more detailed responses, or more questions and less detailed responses, but still the same video length. I'm kind of experimenting a little bit. But anyway, last question from an OG, Croissant. Check his channel out. His memes are hilarious. I'm going to paraphrase this question because it was pretty long. So basically, Croissant had little Croissant, his little brother, over his house, and the the little Croissant's friends as well. So Croissant was lifting weights, and they were watching him lift weights, and he's like, dude, you're jacked. I want to be just like you. Now they have an interest in lifting weights. Little Croissant and little Croissant's friends start doing bicep curls when Croissant is trying to do conventional deadlifts and bench press. Croissant wants to know, take a shot every time I say Croissant, but Croissant wants to know, how can I get them to stop doing bicep curls like fucking dorks and do some actual training? So all jokes aside, it's excellent that I think that you inspired, little ones to want to lift weights. I think that the easiest way to go about getting them to do it correctly is to just continue by leading by example, right? So, and with that comes a little bit of direction in terms of, telling them things. So what I would do if I were you is I'd say, curls are cool and all, but if you want to get, and then you turn around and you show them your big meaty spinal erectors, or like your big meaty face that you have on your back from doing deadlifts and pull-ups. But if you want to get big meaty traps like these, you got to do deadlifts and rows. Curls ain't going to give you that. Or, if you don't want stick legs, you got to make sure that before you do your bicep curls, you do some of these front squats. You know what I'm saying? So make it cool, make it fun, and if you can, try to be very hands-on with their training as well, just to make sure that they don't hurt themselves. But kids are very impressionable. They're gonna do whatever they think is coolest. So if you make shit cool to them, they're gonna want to do it. So just keep it up. I appreciate you for being a good influence on them. All right, that was the Q&A for this week. Let me know if y'all have any questions or comments about these questions. Leave your questions for next week, or whenever I choose to do the next one of these. It ain't always weekly. Leave those down below. Also, I will leave a community post where I will also select from there as well. And then again, let me know if y'all like less questions, more detailed responses, or more questions, baby dick responses. Y'all have a good one.